All right. All right. So this is the first day of the second semester. We kind of went through to see if we have any questions. In this class, we do not have any new students, but if there are new students that are watching this, please don't hesitate to reach out. What I am going to go over in all the other classes is just make sure you probably got rid of your syllabus over the semester break, and that's fine. But you kind of know where we went. We did intro to chemistry, measurement matter, thermochemistry, atomic structure, and quantum mechanics. That's what we've done. And so you can look forward to in this semester ionic bonding, periodic table, chemical reactions, stoichiometry, covalent bonding, and gas laws. And we're going to get as far through all of those things as we can. And so hopefully you're feeling good. The same things apply for this semester. Just make sure you finish your work by Friday. If you're going to miss Wednesday classes, let me know. Everything's on Schoology. So nothing really is changing. The other thing that we're keeping the same is going to be the week's schedule. And you guys all found how to get here. So when we're just going to use Google Meet for the rest of the year, if we ever have to be remote, we're going to use Baychem. And you guys are all here, so good job. So Mondays and Tuesdays are still going to be new content. As long as we're 100% remote, the videos are recorded. If we are hybrid, you have to call in live and we have the camera in class, stuff like that. And then just like we did last semester, the practice days are usually going to be on Wednesdays. Like I said, that's not going to be for this week because I'm just having you guys come live today. But you will get 10 points for coming today. Thursdays will be lab days, where if we are hybrid, at home people have nothing to do on Thursdays, but we'll post a little video of a demonstration or a lab on Thursdays for you guys to see. And I will then have that whole day free. If you need any office hours, all you have to do is contact me and we'll set up a little Google Meet. Friday, per usual, is always going to be a quiz or an assessment. And again, if you can't come on Wednesdays, let me know. But you guys know all that because all of you have been here the whole time. So the only other thing that I kind of wanted to go through, I cleaned up our Schoology page a little bit. Everything in quarter one and quarter two are in those folders. And then you will see that we have the next schedule. I always like to talk about the schedule at the beginning of the unit. So yesterday was a work day. Today we're going to do a little bit of a review because you have to know how to count protons, neutrons, and electrons in order to get into this unit. Tomorrow is going to be just a video lecture. Okay. Thursday we'll put up a demonstration, and then Friday you have a quiz. Then next week we'll go back kind of to normal because you guys don't have a normal week for a while. You have a bunch of 4-day weeks in a row. But there will be a video on Monday and a video on Tuesday. We'll meet live on Wednesday. And because you don't have school on Friday, the little quiz is going to be on Thursday instead. Okay. And then next week, no school on Monday. So you'll have a video on Tuesday. We'll meet live on Wednesday. And then we should be, that week we should be back. Fingers crossed. So you'll call in live on the 19th and the 20th. My apologies there. And then the unit test will be on the 22nd. So that's kind of where we're looking at. And like they said on the email, they're going to revisit us coming back possibly the 19th. So if we come back the 19th, you guys will be calling in live for that class in the 20th. Okay. So that's kind of where just want to make sure everybody's on the same page with their schedule. So we didn't have any new students. We talked about the syllabus. We talked about the schedule. Everybody needs to have their Unit 5 packet and your periodic table. Before we started recording, it was asked if I would post the periodic table, and I will post that on our page. If you can't seem to find it, you can print it off. So I'm going to post that up there as well. All right, so here's our agenda for today. The first thing I want to do is go through a few of the atomic structure review worksheet in your packet. You have to be able to do this when you are doing a whole bunch of different things for periodic table, and we're actually going to take it a little bit further. So let's go through right now real quick. I'll help you fill some of these in. Protons have a charge of positive, neutrons are neutral, and electrons are negative. And this is all from the last unit, so hopefully you're like, yes, I know this. The mass is 1 AMU for a proton, also for a neutron, but then an electron, for our intensive purposes, have no mass. Awesome. Remember, protons and neutrons are in the nucleus. Protons and neutrons are in the nucleus. and then electrons are found outside of the nucleus. So hopefully that is all very much a review, and that you're feeling good with that. Then we can come over here to the full atomic symbol. Remember, the first thing you write is you write the symbol of whatever it is, whether it's helium, or if this one is going to be bromine down here, so you would just put Br. Okay, so you write the symbol there. Beep, beep, beep. Wonderful. Then you write the A and the Z, and then you have the charge behind it. So let's remind what A is. A is your atomic mass, and it's the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. Good. Z is the atomic number, which is just the number of protons. And then up into the back, you put the charge. And when you're looking at a charge, you're looking at the protons, which are positive, and the electrons, which are negative, and then you kind of compare them. If you have more protons, it's positive by however many. If you have more electrons, it's negative by however many. We're going to do a few of that here in just a second. So in order to do the rest of this, you will need your periodic table. Sometimes it is confusing because people are like, well, hey, okay, this has the atomic mass on the top. But when you look at the periodic table, remember on the number on the top on the periodic table, this is the atomic number, and the atomic mass is actually on the bottom. So on the periodic table, it's flipped from the full atomic symbol. Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to do the first two with you very quickly. Let's set this up to remember. Remember, Z here is just your atomic number, which always tells you the number of protons. So if you want to kind of label up the top, I'm only going to go through a few with you, so hopefully you're feeling good. A is the atomic mass, and that means that has to equal the combination of the protons and the neutrons. So if you don't know the number of neutrons, all you do is the difference between A and Z. You subtract them. If you get a negative number, just take the absolute value. Okay. And then the hardest part that sometimes people have a hard time with is either the charge or the electrons. So let's remind ourselves that electrons are negative and that protons are positive. And so you look at those for the charge, or you look at the charge in those in order to get the number of electrons. So let's do two really fast. So bromine, you look on your periodic table here. Boop. Come on over to this side. Little bromines right here. The number at the top of bromine is 35. So I'm going to say 35 here. Now, another thing that sometimes people will do and make a mistake is they might close both of the windows. They might say, all right, I'm going to round this to nearest whole number, so I'm going to call this 80. Okay, you want to be careful because you always want to use the number that is given to you if you're being given neutrons. So now this one, you wouldn't make a mistake because 45 plus, we can go ahead and change this, is 35. 35 plus 45 is still going to give me 80. But you want to make sure you're actually doing the math and you're adding these two together because it might have been an isotope. You don't know. Okay. So I can go ahead and start my full atomic symbol here. I can say that the atomic mass is 80 and the atomic number is 35. And now I need the charge. So let's take a look here. It has 36 negatives and 35 positives. So I have an extra negative. So it's going to be negative by 1. Okay. All right. Now, I don't know what element this is, but I do know that its atomic number is 16. That always tells me exactly what element it is. So I see 16, and I see that it is sulfur. So I'm going to go ahead and write sulfur here. Boop. 16 is always the number of protons, if that's your Z. All right, let's do mass. Neutrons plus protons, 18 plus 16 gives me a mass of 34. That's why, again, be careful. It would be 32 off the periodic table, but this happens to be an isotope of that particular sulfur. So we got 34 here. So I'm going to write 34, 16, and S. This is a -2 charge. So what I'm going to see here, if I want extra 2 negatives, if I have 16 positives, how many negatives can I have in order to get to -2? That means I need 2 more, so that's going to be an 18. Okay. So hopefully you guys are remembering how to do this. You will see some of this on your quiz on Friday. At the bottom, just make sure you can define the difference between an atom, an ion, and an isotope. You've got to know what those are. Then on the back, the only other thing that we're going to carry through to the next unit, all of the history is going to stay in semester 1. But we do have to talk about electron configuration kind of in orbitals one more time as well. Remember, orbitals are regions of space with a high probability of finding an electron. There was S, P, D, and F shapes. And remember, all you have to do for a orbital chart and an electron configuration is you look it up on the periodic table, how many electrons he should have. And so I have iron, has 26 protons. So that means he has 26 electrons. And in order to write the electron configuration, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write the bubble chart. So I have to find a spot for 26 slashes. 1, 2, 3, oopsies, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got to spread them on out. Hund would say so. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Feel like I must have slashed something wrong somewhere, but you know. So then you just write what you see. 1s2, because let's see, it should be in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How did I have 7 slashes up in this D? Eventually, you're going to be able to read this off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to be able to read this off the periodic table. That's going to be the goal of this next unit. So then we go ahead and write our electron configuration. So we're going to write 1s has 2 electrons, 2s has 2 electrons, 2p has 6 electrons, 3s has 2 electrons, 3p has 6 electrons, 4s has 2 electrons, and then 3d has 6 slashes in it. Okay. Awesome. Hopefully we're feeling good. Okay, so that was the first thing on my agenda. So what I want to make sure that you guys can do is do the rest of this. So I'm going to, like I said, we're going to wrap up kind of quickly here to give you some time to work on. Where's my stuff? Hello? To work on this. There we go. So if you go into the next week, which is week 18, in here, I do have the answer key in here, and let me know if you cannot see the answer keys. But the answer key is right here, so you can finish that worksheet at your leisure. Okay. The other thing, and you will have to know this stuff because it'll be on the quiz on Friday. So the other thing I wanted to do is we have a reflection that I would like to end class and give you some time to do. When you go into the week 18 Tuesday folder, your lecture questions are actually just going to be 2 surveys. There is a survey about how you did last semester. So do you think you worked to your potential? You know, what grade did you get? All that kind of good stuff. And you're going to put your name on that first one. The second one, though, is how we performed, and myself in particular, we are all going to do the same thing. How did we do as far as the remote learning? What are some things that we can work on? What did you like? What didn't you like? And all that kind of stuff as we gear up for this next semester. So the lecture questions today are very simple. All you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to take the quiz. And so you're going to go in. Here is your first. This is the one that you're doing the self-assessment. So you're going to put your name on it. And then here is the teacher one, and you will not put your name on that. Okay. And so you can be as honest as you possibly can on that. And then you're just going to say that you did both of them, and then that will get you your points for today. Okay. The last thing that I want you to do, and it's something that we would usually do in class, is we would always start this unit by coloring our periodic table. You can probably tell on my one here that we had, you want to make sure that you know the difference between metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. And we are going to talk about that in tomorrow's lecture a little bit more. But if you already have it colored, it kind of makes it a little bit easier. So the other thing that I would like for you to do, and it is in the folder as well, it is going to go back here. yes, I'm not taking this quiz. And Tuesday, at some point in time, I would like for you to be able to color your periodic table just like this. Make sure you put a key somewhere. Like I have my key down here at the bottom. Be careful. Hydrogen is actually a yellow non-metal, and you can do whatever colors you would like. I just suggest not coloring so dark that you can't see anything. You want to make sure. Maybe I was going to put out highlighters. I like to color in highlighter sometimes, but you have 3 different types of elements on the periodic table: the metals, the non-metals, and the metalloids. So you want to make sure that you can distinguish those easily before the next lecture, which is tomorrow. And if you don't want to do very much work at all, I know some people that just do the metalloids and then they remember that these are non-metals, or they leave the metals white because those are the most you need to color. But so you want to do that. So those are the 3 main things that I was going to have you guys do if we were back in class today. The only other thing that you might want to do is, and because this is our only live class, I also threw them in here, are the participation points are also in here as well. But I will check those once I take attendance with you guys. I will check those and make sure that you get your points if you're not here. So participation points, you're just going to go in here and you are going to say you attended Tuesday's class, drop an A in there, and it will give you your 10 points. Okay, so that's all I would have had you do. The only other thing I want to remind you is that now tomorrow's weird. Tomorrow's not going to be a live lecture. Tomorrow's going to be a lecture video with lecture questions. So make sure you're ready with your notes and your periodic table and all that kind of good stuff. And then Thursday is a little demo video, and then you'll have your quiz on Friday. And I guess you shouldn't forget that the quizzes close at 1:30. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm just going to stop this recording, and then I'm going to check in with each one of you and just see how you're doing. Just hear your voice, and as soon